This is what I was trying to play before. Okay. My apologies. I'm so sorry.
That's a good one. I mean,
it was a big mistake. I apologize. So this is a clip that I saw going around on the Twitters, and I saw it on Facebook doing some numbers. It
sounds like Robbie Williams calling. Are you gonna fucking pick up?
I'd love to have him on. He loves YouTubers, so I would please come on the pod. I'm a huge fan. I did my hair like this because of you. Anyway, I saw this clip. I totally agree with it. I'm going to be doing the same thing that he was going to do. I would love to hear your opinion about it. I mean, I brought it on for you to
well, let's listen
react to it.
Let's listen to what Robbie has to say, and then we will react on the other side. Robbie Williams on why his children aren't allowed to have mobile phones. He makes some good points here. Do you agree? Let's see what he has to say.
Four?
Yeah.
Mate. How do you navigate all that with
They
your
don't have
kids?
phones. They're not going to have phones as humanly possible. And, you know, they're going to go, they are at school, other people have phones. Why can't I have phones? Tough. That's as simple as it is. I'm 51. I can't deal with the corrosive nature of the internet and things. It hurts me. It ruins my day.
Yeah.
How can I give this drug to a 12-year-old? How can I give this drug to a 7-year-old? It's abuse.
Four?
Okay. Definitely some bold comments there.
Interesting terminology.
Yes, and definitely provocative, and he's definitely trying to use his own experience to try and empathize with what his kids might be going through in a different context, you know, such as trying to navigate 2025 with fucking social media and smartphones and everything. I think that the only part that I would not even disagree with, because I generally agree with what he's saying, and I will make a point to say that I do, from what I hear and from what I see, the less the kids can be exposed to like phones and social media is usually the better.
Yeah, like the longer you can go without it.
Yeah. I mean, my only challenge to that would be, you know, I think once you do hit a certain age, maybe it's like 15, 16, maybe 14, but I'm very not sure on where that line is. I do think that it becomes a little bit of a inconvenience if you're not allowed to have a phone, right? If you're 15, say, and you have a job and you need to go to your job and you can't like call, you know, your mom, or I don't know, like check the roster if it's posted to a website or something, like it can be a challenge for you to fit into your community if you don't have access to a phone. So I do think there are certain ages where it's appropriate to like introduce it into a kid's life. But absolutely, what did he say? The ages there, like 11 and 7? Yeah, no, I'm completely on board with him for that. It's funny because we grew up, you and me, like the zillennial generation, I guess they'd call us, because we're kind of right between Gen Z and millennials. We grew up when all of this...
Gen Z's trying to what?
That's right. We grew up when all of this stuff was coming out and people didn't really know what effects letting kids in their teenage years and younger have just complete fucking unadulterated access to phones and social media and everything else. And social media back in the day just didn't have those protections either. So, yeah, I mean, now we seem to know a lot more about the fucking harm that social media can do. And I think it's good to set some boundaries and protections for kids, you know?
So yes, sorry, I was just letting the soundbite play out.
Okay.
No, I agree. And I would say as well, like, I think I only got a phone when, like you were saying, it became a point where it was like, it would just become an inconvenience or like not safe to not have one. Because I remember my mum got a new job and we had to, I think, walk home or something. I can't remember. But I needed a phone to be able to contact my mum and say like I'm walking home and I'm safe or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
Either that or she was picking us up later and she would have to like text us or call us to let her know when she was going to be there.
Well, and there are things it can help with, like checking the fucking bus times or the
True.
train times or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. No, like it's interesting because like I definitely remember back in the day I was quite late to get in a phone, but even back in the day getting a phone was just some flip shit.
Yeah.
That like obviously it exists like cyberbullying and like shit like that did exist back when we were at school, but to the extent it is out now, I don't like that idea of giving a kid a phone because I agree a lot with what he was saying. Like I struggle a lot with I have like bad image issues. Like I don't know if it's because I'm on camera a lot and there's always a camera pointing at me, but I have very bad issues with like my presence and myself, and
Totally. Yeah.
I really struggle with like when I go into a room, I always think, what are these people thinking about me? Like, are they going to look at me and like think I look fat or ugly or like dumb? And I can't really wrap my head around making that better. And I do just think that social media has not helped. I'm definitely going on my phone too much. I'm definitely addicted to like Twitter. There's a whole bunch of issues going on there. I read YouTube comments too much. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
The reason I know I meme on TikTok on this show, but generally, if you want to know the truth, the reason why I don't go on TikTok is because I'm terrified of the comments. Because I know they're going to be saying things about me that I don't want to hear.
That's fair
It's
enough.
scary. And I don't have kids. Leave it to you. Yeah, I mean, I know we both want kids eventually, but like I don't want that to affect my kids because I don't think they should be exposed to it too early. And I like the idea of it being normalized to not give your children a phone too early to the point where I think it becomes inconvenient, as you were saying. I basically second everything you say, but I just think it's scary, man. I mean, the whole thing about like, and he said like it ruins my day. Like, how many times do like we go on like Twitter and we hear just some awful shit that's insane that happened a gazillion miles away from us, and it's like, yeah, this shit's horrible, and it makes me feel down, and
I think he made a really great point about, what you said, the effects that it can have on your self-worth and the way you see yourself. And I think he's right that, even fully grown adults who, in theory, we all should know better, but we all still let this little fucking glass candy bar make us feel like shit because we see people say things
that's
on the
a
internet,
fantastic way of putting it. A glass candy bar. That's fantastic. Yeah. I like that. That's good. Use that.
I gotcha, baby. And I think that it's just sad that it can that there are people that give access, like unfettered access to kids so young because they can get so sucked in to this shit that as adults we already find tricky to deal with, and as kids they're just not set up to begin to know how to process all of that information, all of those feelings, like everything. It's hard. And
I do remember growing up in school and like seeing Instagram becoming like Instagram when it first started, and just constantly being like bombarded by, because I'm a homebody and I still am now, but in middle school and high school, I really struggle with seeing people my age, and I still struggle with it now, doing things that are more adventurous than me or a bit more outgoing than me. People love to go to the beach. I notoriously hate the beach.
Right.
I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I would always see that. And I would always see people at school hanging in like big groups. And I had a small group of friends. And, it would always just make me feel like shit. And I don't want my kids seeing, and also, that obviously when you go to school, there are people who are like, guys and girls who are like better looking than you. And you're made to feel that.
Sure.
But also they're meant to feel that way too, because they might be like, oh, no one in the year is better looking than me, but there's this other person who goes to this school who is, or there's this model who's better looking than me, and it just keeps going. It's a snowball effect because that model then has someone who's better looking than them, and then that one has one, and it's like we're constantly supposed to feel shit about ourselves, and we're almost addicted to seeing how shit we could make ourselves feel, because it's like the amount of times you just see things you're like, I told you, I won't say what it is, but I saw something the other day, I told you, involving a woman. I was like, I didn't want to see it, and I went out of my way to like not block but mute, but somehow it snuck through the system, and I'm like, I saw it and I was like, this just ruined my day. Like, I feel like shit now, and I just didn't like it. And that kind of thing can just easily be avoided. Because when you block someone on social media now, you're pretty much saying to their face, like, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah.
So it's so personal. Like, it's like, it's not just like a block on social media. You're saying, like, I don't want you in my life. That's...
It's an interesting place to be.
It is. And I agree with it. I mean, I want to, you know, encourage my kids to, you know, I played Xbox growing up, the OG Xbox. Like, I definitely watched movies and stuff, but I do think I had a healthy amount of time outside. Like, I definitely had a good mix of both. Like, I don't think one was outweighing the other.
Yeah.
I think these days it's very easy for the technology to take over the outsideness of shit. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I think that's a good clip.
Fair enough.
I'm glad we had a good chat about
I
that.
would also just quickly add that I definitely don't blame any parents who, like, even if you kind of disagree with what Robbie Williams is saying in this clip, I think it's super understandable for parents in today's day and age to just kind of wonder what is the right thing to do. And
Sure.
like, how do you approach this whole phone thing? It's not an easy question. It's not something that's easy to solve. And there's not a whole lot of like perfect answers to
It's
it.
unknown territory, which will be
Absolutely.
studied. It'll be studied in a few years, like maybe in 20, 30 years time, you know.
Yeah, we'll know like what's the right thing to do far too late to actually do it. You know, maybe for our grandkids to do it.
Because my nephew, he watches like his iPad with dinner, and sometimes I can raise an eyebrow to that. But I guess it's no different to me. I remember back when we were in England, me and my sister, we would move the TV into the dining room so we could watch The Simpsons while eating dinner. So it's like, is there really any difference?
The generations just it's
Although-
same shit, different day. Like,
Although we were watching an incredibly well TV show, he's watching Coco Melon, which I'm pretty sure is ran by like absolute insane people.
God.
So,
Okay.
all right,